my intention with this is, we're 10 and a half minutes left, is like to make a creative constraint and commit to a communication beyond limitation for these 10 and a half minutes. Is there something that when I say that you want to talk about, or does that bring up anything for you?
Yeah, about getting like really focused on a project or something, or like being able to make money for your own gifts, something like that.
That's a big one. That's a big one. So you're ready to be paid for your gifts.
Yes.
It didn't look like yes. It looked like are you not ready to be paid, or are you ready to be paid? That's what it becomes down
Yes,
to.
ready.
What was the hesitancy about, if you had to guess?
I guess I just wouldn't know exactly what to focus in to get paid for, I guess.
Okay, what have you gotten paid for in your life thus far?
Well, I'm actually a server, and that's really it.
At a restaurant, basically, or a bar?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the only thing you've been paid for.
Yes.
Awesome.
And actually, I do Reiki healing energy, so I've done stuff like that, but it's not something I really care to do.
Okay, you don't care to do it, or you don't care to charge people for it?
I don't care to do it.
Okay, cool. Well, we definitely are not trying to get you to do something you don't care to do. But with serving, is that something you're currently doing, or is that something you've done in the past that you've made money doing?
I was doing.
Okay, cool. And is that so? What was the most? What were you getting paid per hour doing that?
It was $11 an hour plus tips.
Cool. It's like 11-minute. That reminds me of an 11-minute quantum consultation. And so it's interesting. I think you're in a phase in your life. I love this talk that we're having, because you coming to the event, to me, it's obvious you're ready. You have unlimited potential energy, and it's more obvious with you than maybe your average Joe, I would say, for sure, or your average Jane. You're obviously a woman of much potential and power, and it seems like you're ready to step into it. However, you've only been paid $11 an hour for serving, which is really probably not your highest calling. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, I would. That's my projection. And I'm happy you agree with me. So now you're wanting to use this time to maybe figure out what you would feel the best about, like what kind of service you would feel the best about rendering.
Yes.
And do you have any hunches or ideas of what that might be?
I'm feeling like some sort of like coaching. That's what I've been feeling since this retreat.
Okay, and coaching anyone specifically? Anybody? Anything specific? Any topics specifically?
I feel like coaching people on, I guess, getting in touch with their inner voice or confidence or something like that.
Cool. So what I'm hearing is you want to teach what you're wanting to master.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, cool. And I think that's very fair. I once had someone like confess to me, like one of my good friends confessing to me. They'll say, man, I teach all these people about doing all this heart work, and I feel like it's really just me who wants to open my heart. That's what he told me. And I was like, great. I'm so happy that you're basically giving a service that you want to get, because I think that, first of all, I think the best way of learning is teaching, which is funny. Like and I learned this in school, that they showed us a whole learning pyramid, and like the most passive levels of learning is like sitting and listening. And then there's like studying, then there's like group interactions, then there's like field work, and the very top of the learning pyramid is leading what you're wanting to learn. And I think for people that are willing to take that faith from a student to a teacher, probably realize that they're being the best student by being a teacher. Yeah. That they've done enough of the work and they're ready to shine bright. They're ready to use the gift or share the gift that they've spent time or money or whatever it is, energy, and refining. Now, I saw you at the retreat. It seems like that's what you are stepping into your voice. You are stepping into your power. And I think you're going to really do it to a whole nother level when you lead other people to do that. So I'm happy that's what you're wanting to do. For some reason, I got the idea that you wanted to work with women specifically, like a women empowerment type of setting, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Or maybe that's what you said and you didn't mean it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I definitely feel a little more called to women for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I see you as being, but you, almost when I said that, you almost looked a little like no, and like I thought you were about to tell me no.
I just don't. There's a part of me that doesn't want to limit it because I feel like I could benefit all types.
Okay, well, as you probably know, what I definitely see the truth in what's most personal is most universal. So if you can help 0.1% of the population really find empowerment, then you're going to help the whole world, in my opinion. So I don't want you to think by focusing on women, which is probably over 4 billion people, is limiting.
Right.
I also don't want you to focus on women if you don't want it, if you're open to doing work with all people. But it sometimes does help to have like a little bit of a niche. For instance, when we started our online careers, we were known as the raw bras. We were specifically teaching people about raw fruits and vegetables. And we blew up in that scene. That scene just like, we were like their saviors. And we realized we grew out of that, in my opinion. We grew out of limiting ourselves to a label based on not doing something, aka veganism, and started more focusing on the raw truth, like what's being radically authentic wanderlust. I was like, raw, that's the new raw. And we were courageous enough to grow beyond our niche, and that there was a lot of backlash. But that's how we gained the most momentum, and the fastest way possible was probably when we niched in on raw veganism. But then there was the Om Daddy, but I don't know if I would ever gotten the Om Daddy if I didn't transcend the raw vegan culture. Sharing that with you because what I'm saying is I think it's great for you to start with women and then like start in a niche like that. Maybe it's women your age. Maybe it's women, I don't know what your age is, but maybe it's women ages 17 to 25, something like that. The youthful side, I think the youth are much more open and easier to work with than the cultured. Okay, we got about 3.5, 4 solid minutes here. What is it that you want to teach these young women or empower these young women to do?
I would want to teach them how to find their confidence or their center with speaking in front of people.
Awesome. And this is a little side personal note. When you speak, it seems like there's a little uncertainty in the way, like you're showing me. I don't think you need to show that. Like that, I almost feel like it's a safety mechanism. You're like, oh, well, I'm gonna say this, but I'm not sure if I really believe it. Do you believe it? Like you and your stillness, exactly what you said you want to help other people do, being still and confident in your voice. I think you have a real gift at. So I want to encourage you to let go of any fluff or let go of any nonverbal disclaimers. Does that resonate with what you're saying? What I'm saying with you?
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like that's important for you. Just like I'm being bold enough to say what I think is important for you, I want you to be bold enough when you're speaking into these young women's lives that you don't need to show your second-guess nonverbal communication. You can sit in stillness with what you said. And I think you're really, I really believe in you, and I want to see you take action on this. Like, 2 minutes left. How are we going to see you take action on this?
Well, first I'm starting with making videos more, like at least once a week, just speaking whatever my truth is and whatever I'm going through in that time, and kind of starting there, gaining more confidence and being in front of and not caring how people perceive me. I think that's a great place to start for myself.
Cool. So you want to so I'm hearing is you're kind of holding yourself accountable to do 1 video a week expressing how you're feeling in an authentic way. Is that correct? And where would you put those videos up?
Do what?
Where would you put those videos up?
Either YouTube and Facebook. I already made one last week, or a couple days ago, actually.
What was the topic?
Inspiration for the new year, or inspired by the new year, and it was about bike design.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. This is with a minute left. This is my prescription. Why don't you? And this is where it's gonna be funny. I'm curious. Would you commit to doing 10 videos a week 3 minutes, 3 minutes or less. It can be more if you want to, but I would suggest that's only 30 minutes of filming a week. One take, and niche in. Like, I want you to be as specific as possible on these video topics. And I want them to be targeted towards young women. And I want you to have as clear lighting and audio as you do now. Like, I can see you nice, crisp, and clear, and I can hear you crisp and clear. What would happen if you did 10 videos a week for the next month? And then in one take, no editing, it'll be much more streamlined. I think you'll tap that spring of communication and sit in your stillness. Like, even if what you're saying you're not 100% sure about, no one's 100% sure about anything they're saying. So I don't need to be reminded that you're not sure. I like to see you on Walking by Faith, and I think other people will as well. That's what I would say. I think that's a quantum consultation right there. If you did that for a month, 10 videos a week, 3 minutes, subject specific, that's 30 minutes a week. It's not asking too much. It's 10 timing. It's 10xing your original idea. So I like that I could maybe catalyze that for you. And just like I'm making a library of the quantum consultations on my YouTube channel, doing the same thing. Like, whatever it is, your daily transmission, or whatever that might sound like, or whatever feels best to you, and making a library out of it for the next month. That'd be 40 videos. And then you could, by that time, I think you are a leader already, but it'll be that much more obvious to the rest of the world.
Run, guan, guan, guan. Run, guan, guan, guan. Run, guan, guan, guan. Run, guan,